One of the basic tools in the workshop is of course the surface plate, but I don't have one. And that's where I realized that in fact I do have one. It's trapped inside here. I'm gonna make this 210 millimeters, a bit more than 8 inch, 210. And I use these dimensions because this is the maximum cutting stroke on my shaper. I have this magnificent piece of square. I'm gonna cut out 2 parts to make 2 feet and then bolt them on with these cap screws. That's the idea. Now, every project starts usually on the bandsaw, but I don't have one, so I have to cut it out. I did cut off 2 of the 3 sides because the 4th side was already cut, and it hurts my back so much I took the decision to try something new what I never did before. I'm gonna part this part off on the shaper, a bit like a parting operation on the lathe. This is from the belt sander, so I just take 2 pieces to protect the table. This is gonna be the finished surface. So first I'm gonna work the other side. Here we will mount the 2 feet on it, but first I will try my cut-off system with my parting tool. Alright. I still haven't made a tool holder for this parting tool, so I have to find out a system a bit like this, put another one here, see if for square. Good. These things doesn't look professional on this kind of machines, but they're made in Germany. And you can ask Stefan, if it's made in Germany, it works. Fail. I think I have to find another way. My poor little machine had not enough power to cut through, and because here there was a handle welded on, the steel is a bit harder, so it didn't work out. Not a problem, I'm gonna cut it out with the angle grinder. Alright, I did cut the fourth side with the angle grinder, hurt my back a bit more. I'm ready to make two little clean surfaces, not really slots, but clean up the surface where the feet will go. Now, if you do this kind of operations on the shaper, a very long stroke, now this is a little machine, but for this machine it's a very long stroke. Make sure you have clearance everywhere. Down here is the bolt, make sure it doesn't crash into something. Put a bit of cutting oil on it. I use a round nose tool. The round nose tool is ideal because you can use it in both directions. Now that I finished these two surfaces, first I'm gonna square up this block a bit. The final dimensions I will make when the feet are mounted, but first I want to clean up these two sides and make it more or less square. These two sides are done, just roughed out, they're not on the finished length. I will do after. So I turned the part 90 degrees, and to square it up with the machine I used my scale in a white paper the other side and look at the light. That's how I did. It means that now this part will be as square as my shaper. Half of the work is done. I had a little problem here. I don't know if you can see on camera, but the whole part moved. So I had a weird cut here. But that's okay. This is the underside. We'll flip it over, of course. I prepared these two. It will be the feet to put here. Drill the holes to receive the clamp down system. First I will drill and tap and then fix these, and when they're fixed I will rework these two surfaces so I'm sure they will be same height and parallel. If you want to fix feet like this, it's a big part. For me it's a big part, and if you drill holes, sometimes the drill surge a bit because I have a cheap drill press, no precision at all, but it's what I've got. So my little trick is I drill two holes and then I drill and tap only one here. I fix feet in place. Now we can line up 31. Perfect. And the other one. And I'm ready to drill these two other holes. Perfectly aligned. They never put up a fight. And until now these two blocks didn't fall off, so I suppose that's a good sign. I'm using the tool holder to be sure to clear this bolt, because after this foot I'm gonna do the other one, of course. That's good. Finish is not perfect, but for this side, of course, there's no need. I used my square to square the part, like this. After all, to square a part, that's what a square is for, isn't it? I just barely clear here the dovetail, so I'm gonna go easy. In about every shaper video I make, I try to tell people to beware not to crash in something. And then I do it myself. I touched the bolt here, I took this bolt out so I can pivot the clapper. I touched here. Okay, it survived. It's just a little bit damaged, but be aware. Always take at least one full stroke by hand to avoid this kind of accidents. These two sides are finished, and now I could take off this idiot made in Germany clamps, because now I can use my pin system I designed especially for this job. This one goes here if it wants to. Voila. Now this system, of course, you don't take heavy cuts with it because it's a bit light. Of course there's two other pins the other side, they are already in. So we're gonna take light cuts, but now this whole surface is free of hold down systems and clamps and weldings. That was the first roughing pass. So let's see what's hidden under this mud. After this I need a new t-shirt. Just a few little spots left here. I'm gonna do a second roughing pass, and if all the spots are out, I'm gonna do a finish pass with the shear tool. Now I'm facing the most challenging part of this project, and it is of course having a decent finish on this part. Now the problem is the minimum number of strokes on this machine is 60, and with this stroke length I have a cutting speed of more than 20 meters a minute. For the shear tool it's way too much. I can go lower. For my parting tool, if you use a cutting speed 10 meters a minute, about 10 meters a minute, it is not perfect science of course, that's more than enough. So that was one of the problems I had when to try to cut this part in two. So now, same problem on the shear tool, cutting way too fast, but we're gonna try anyway. I did put some rubber bands here to keep it down. So normally that should prevent it to make dings in the part. And here's the finished product. I'm not gonna hide to you that in fact it was a big pain to make this thing. The surface finish is a bit desirable, but I knew it. While cutting these sides, the whole part moved, and before I knew it I had not enough material left to finish these corners. See these corners here, still the raw material, as you can see. I consider it a bit as a fail. Other people should say I had visit of bozo. I don't know, it just happened. When I was cutting these two surfaces for the feet, for whatever reason, I don't know, the tool moved down and cut too deep, so I had to take way more off than I wanted, and here just barely touching the bolt. But it's okay, everybody survived. Now at least I have a nice flat surface to put my coffee on. My kids gave me this one, and that for me that can mean only two things. Reason one could be, maybe as a father I was not so bad as I thought I was. Then reason two, and that's more likely, they need more pocket money.